everyone, and welcome to the Confidence Faith Podcast, Move Forward in Love. I am your host, Samantha, or Dr. Sam. I am a relationship coach and consultant, and I'm here to help you or your business change the world through rediscovery. A tongue twister. Today, I am going to focus on putting it out there. Putting it out there means even in brokenness, resilience, um, emotional avoidance, you are putting the best foot forward. You are putting your self-worth forward. You are putting your needs first and not feeling guilty. Putting yourself out there means that you could be rejected. Putting yourself out there means you could face backlash. Putting yourself out there means you could lose everything. And that's where people stop. But what about putting yourself out there and finding authenticity? What about putting yourself out there and finding love, acceptance? I mean, you could find God in your daily adventures. So why would you not put yourself out there? Today, I want to express to you the level of self-love and really how, you know what? I take that back. Today, we're going to talk about bodily and flirtatious love and putting ourselves out there, and how today that's how so many people function. But the truth is that that doesn't have to be reality. So, as I was going through my time frame before I started to heal, I remember watching TV and there was this girl and she had like rhinestone, it's like a rhinestone mesh net dress. So it's like it would go like this, and there'd be like big rhinestone and then rhinestone lines and then connect to rhinestones. So it'd make like a net thing. But it was a dress and it hung off of her. And I just remember thinking, oh my goodness, I love that. I want to wear something like that. I didn't think, hey, she's got nothing on under that. Isn't that weird? I didn't look at the clothes that girls were wearing and say, that seems kind of inappropriate. It was always, oh, that must be the standard of beauty. And as time went on, I watched the music videos and I watched the amount of clothes that women wore. And at one time, someone was just covered in cake sprinkles. And the world seems to think that's okay. But you don't have to. See, a lot of the times what happens is we don't want to be left out. So this is what TV is showing us. So if we don't measure up, we're not going to be loved, right? I find that when you flirt with people, you actually will let a lot of things slide. They may make a comment that on a normal occasion you would say, why would someone say that? But in this case, you say, I'll just kind of let that slide and see if that person's going to do it again. And then the second or third time they do it, then that's when you actually begin to question this person's character. As a young adult, I mean, and this is the time frame that I was, a young adult, early 20s. Yeah, I'd go with more young adult. It was a time of wanting to be wanted, right? Everybody knows, you start dating and you want to look cute, and your parents are old and they're out of date, right? And you so you look to TV and TV knows this. And so they put out these images. And so when you're putting yourself out there, like let's just say dating, you've got to have a standard. All those men and women who hear you have high standards, you know what? Keep those high standards because not everyone is meant to be in your world. See, we think that if we exclude anybody, we'll miss out on the person. But why don't we think if we exclude or exclude those people, we will still be met with the person? See, it almost makes it be perceived that you don't know where your person is, but your person is your person. Your next relationship's your next relationship. That person's going to find you. They could find you at a grocery store. They could find you at the movie theater, walking, walking down a hall going to court. The circumstances doesn't matter because that person is there, but we put our value, our self-worth in the way we look. So we try to attract the person, but the thing is that we dress and we act in a way that is not attractive to ourselves on a personal and internal level. If you are out there and you're saying, oh, well, I'm going to wear this, I'm going to wear that, fine. But don't expect the person that you're looking for to show up. It's just like in love. If you're going to teach someone that they don't have to buy you flowers, don't expect flowers. See, we all want to be treated like gold, but we put ourselves out there like mud sometimes, even in work, even as a boss. You want people to like you, and you might find yourself actually gravitating towards the people that are causing the most conflict in your business. If you are sitting there and you're wanting a promotion, but you're trying to be passive aggressive, you're trying to sabotage people, don't expect to be getting that promotion. See, with myself and my loss of self story, I was dressing to the T. I had those Guess shoes with the matching jean romper with the halter top on it, and it was like shorts and stuff. I mean, I was looking cute, I'll tell you that. But now looking back at it, I realized that I could have just worn jeans and a shirt and still got where I wanted to be. I will tell you something about appearances and becoming attractive through, body or flirtation. I had jeans on, a undershirt with a long sleeve mesh shirt on that was a little see-through. I had a scarf and I had wrapped it around my head. And I apologize for that. I had a scarf and I wrapped it around my head. And I think I had like flip-flops or flats on. And I wrapped it around my head and hold on. Ah, again, my apologies. And so I had this wrap on and I had no glasses that day. And I ran into the dollar store. And as I walked in, this man was walking out. And he said, "You are the most beautiful thing I have seen all day." And it hit me. I had always taken beauty in my curly hair and my skin complexion and the clothes that I wore, the way it made my body look, the color coordination. And I was color coordinated that day, don't get me wrong. But the beauty wasn't coming from where I thought it was. My perspective of beauty changed when I covered and I got the most beautiful compliment I think I ever have. And so today I'm letting you know that as a female, as a young adult female, as a teenage female, as an adult female, you don't have to follow what's on TV. You don't have to follow what's on music videos because what makes you beautiful is when you feel confident in yourself, when you have faith, when you're walking around that you know who you are and you feel safe in the skin that you're presenting. Not accepting side comments, not accepting inappropriate, um, I don't know, looks, touches, or if you don't even like, you maybe like the outfit, but you think it's a little too tight, don't wear it. Wear what makes you feel good. And then for gentlemen, so many of y'all are worried about your muscles, right? How do I get strong? How do I get a good body? What about my hairline receding? What about earrings and people thinking anything? Like, what about my haircut? What about the way I sound? I mean, I feel like sometimes guys have it a lot harder because they are normally considered the initiator. And in that case, guys, I'm telling you, be you. And I laugh because I know that some guys out there saying, but what if I don't have game? Well, not everyone has game, but it doesn't mean that that first conversation is the last conversation. If she's got a boyfriend or something, you know, maybe you want to hold off. But just because one time you get redirected doesn't mean you won't ever run into that person. Let's put it this way. You could see this girl at a bar, walk up to her, talk to her, and she says, "Oh, I'm not into you." But it could be that same girl 3 days later in the week, and she called a tow truck, and you are that tow man, and you say, I saw you at the bar. I spoke to you. I'm sorry this is happening to you. Instead of being arrogant and saying, oh, serves you right, you had a bad attitude, guess world's coming back to you. Flip that script. Be you. They're like, yeah, man, I've been doing this for a couple years, so I'll make sure your car is okay. Why don't you jump inside? I'll take you to where you need to go. Do you have a ride? Do you need a phone? Be a gentleman and allow that connection to either naturally form or not. And that's okay because guess what? If it doesn't work, you have just practiced for the right person. And see, that's a lot of the times what we forget. When we put it out there, we are not always just putting it out there for an instant success. We're putting it out there because we have to go through tests. We have to become prepared. We have to be refined for that next level, for the actual door, for the real test, for the real person, for the real promotion. It is not always just so straightforward. I remember I was at a bar and some guy hit on me. And I was probably just like, no, no, thank you. And he was like, well, you're not that cute anyways. But hold on now. Hold on. Weren't you the same guy that just walked up to me and spoke to me? Now I'll tell you about a different guy. He walked up to me and he said, oh, you're really beautiful. How are you doing? Good. What's your name? My name's Samantha. Oh, okay. My name's so and so. Do you have a boyfriend? Yes. Here he's walking up right now. Man, I was just telling your girl she is so beautiful. He said, thanks, man. And the guy walked off. That was it. That's the difference between being authentic when you're flirting, when you're worried about the way your body looks, and being too caught up in the world not loving you based on casting a wide net to all these people you really didn't want. So in business, a lot of the times they'll say, you have to niche down. And it sounds so disheartening. You have to cut out people because they're not going to be your clients. But what so many people hear is you have to cut out dollars, the potential for dollars. But what's really being said is you have to be authentic because you don't want to pull in the wrong people. You don't want to pull in the wrong people while you're flirting because you don't want to get attached to the wrong person. If you want kids, don't start something with somebody who doesn't want kids. Just call it quits and be friends. If you want a promotion and your job doesn't offer the promotion, don't get spiteful. Go look for the job that will give you that promotion. When you put it all out there, it may be scary. You may get rejected. You may get your feelings hurt. But it's that test that you were brave enough to do it that prepared you for the moment when you were supposed to do it. Your self-value comes from topics like that, from situations like that, moments like that. Your self-value is based in how you feel about you, not how the world tells you to feel about you. If you're worried about your body because you feel a certain kind of way, do it. But don't worry about your body and aim for someone else's body. Make a list of what you want for you and go after that. Then after that point, consider a new list. But first, what we have to do before we run to society, even though that's what we're taught to look for answers, you have to look at what you have already had placed in your heart. What God has already shown you through your visions, through your dreams, has spoken. You have spoken into reality. Listen to the things you get excited about when you put yourself out there and realize you can't put all of that out there either. See, just like with loss of self, where you reserve yourself, when you get excited about things, you have to also reserve some of that too. Because what happens is people will knock it down. Oh, you weren't that cute anyways. Oh, well, you're not ready for that promotion. Somebody else will tell you no. And what happens, I've experienced this, is that excitement for that dream that you've had dwindles. That excitement for whatever dwindles. And that's what we do not want to have happen. When you hold it tight, you replenish yourself. You give yourself hope. You give yourself excitement. You give yourself potential. And that potential creates confidence, um, experimenting, looking deeper into things, learning. See, that's a redirection. You're getting moved to a new path to help you become a better person. Don't worry about being rejected on small things sometimes. If you're worried and you're really starting off new, then you need to just do something like hold a door because someone's not going to say thank you. And you go from there. You need to just take it slow and keep growing and growing and growing. Loss of self, feeling lost, stuck, broken, unloved without your light after a negative event, life transition, or PTSD experience needs rediscovery. I am here to help you. I've given you a plethora of examples of how I've already experienced it and gone through it. I can help you rediscover yourself because once you understand these boundaries you have, these levels of who you are, then you can move on into how you interact with the world and create the ripple effects that change it. Individual coaching, business coaching, help your employees, whatever it is. You can go to www.confidencefaith.com. You can go to /services and get right on that page. Pick up that mouse and click on whatever service you need and let me help you. It's okay to be nervous. When you're putting it out there with me, all I'm asking you to do is try. And today I'm asking you to try to flirt with authenticity. Attract the correct people. With your body, I'm telling you to dress with authenticity. You don't have to follow the world because we're not to be living in the world. We live here, but we're of God's world. And you have to remember that no matter what's going on, because that's where the elevation happens, the rediscovery, the authenticity, the new levels, the new heights, the potential, the success, and it can be yours. So subscribe to the channel because I'm putting out videos. Subscribe for the inspiration, the motivation, the love, the life, the business. It's here. I'm Dr. Sam, and I'm ready to help you. So remember, www.confidencefaith/services, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.